Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bargain Bin, a show about speedrunning games all under $20. My name is Midnight Vesper, and I will be your host for this amazing show. If you're new here, here's how this works. For more current/digital games, we'll be using digital stores to look at the list/MSRP price. For retro games, we'll be using various price charting websites and looking at the loose price of the game to determine the right price. We do not in any way count any sales or discounts as they vary from time of purchase. Just a couple quick announcements for everyone out there. AGDQ 2022 Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online is going to be taking place from the comfort of our own homes from January 9th to the 16th. For anyone looking to have a run in the marathon or would like to volunteer to the event, submissions will be opening on September 24th. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, come check out our highlights channel by searching GDQ Sum of Best segments on YouTube. From there, you can see highlights of all of our hotfix shows. And speaking of hotfix shows, we have an amazing one today. We're going to be featuring some backup runs during the Flame Fatale speedrun event held last month right here on the GDQ channel. First, we're going to be showcasing Air, Memories of Old. Then, we're going to be showcasing Plants vs. Zombies. And don't forget, after our show is Speedruns from the Crypt, so you have an amazing plethora of games throughout this entire day. With that being said, let's go ahead and get straight to these runs. Freyas, how are y'all doing today?
We are feeling nervous. This is an incredibly commentary-heavy run. We've never done a run like this commentary-heavy before. When we were learning this run, we spent maybe 12 hours learning the run, and then we spent maybe 6 hours reading the script, rereading the script, making a ton of commentary notes. We ended up with 1,300 words of commentary notes, and we're super happy with what we came up with, and this is going to be awesome.
Whenever y'all are ready.
So with that, this is an amazing game. We love the aesthetic, and here we hope to bring you not just a speedrun, but the tale of this world. Sing of the great dreamer that sleeps in eternity. May she dream of good times forever and ever. In the beginning, there was a dreamer, asleep in cold eternity. Oops. 1 second, we need to switch our keyword layout to QWERTY for this. In the beginning, there was a great dreamer, asleep in cold eternity. She dreamed all there is. The Creator, from the stardust in eternity, he made the gods walk the land to look after the world. His only weakness was his tender spot for your kind, little human. To create you, he linked his heart to yours, but your hearts grew empty. After humans were created, there was a meeting of the spirit animals. Help them? The other animals looked stunned. Yes, the fox said. Their minds see eternity, and they are lost and afraid. The spirit fox proposed a pact with the humans. Those who were chosen were called whisperers and can take the form of their spirit animal. This lantern is Kara's light, shining for the first time in generation. Our spirit animal is a bird, the same as Kara's, and only birds take pilgrimages. We are making the same pilgrimage as Kara, to 3 gods at 3 temples. There are many spirit animals around the world, some with shrines long gone, some still in the world. The spirit fish gave waters that never stop flowing, but the fox called the world empty compared to what it used to be. This is an incredibly lore-heavy game, and just like Hollow Knight, it's a beautiful set of lore, but all the lore is scattered so strongly that you really have to just read the entire script. So we have the option of turning the lantern on or off. It is a little bit faster to go with the lantern on because you need the lantern on to activate some things, but the world looks so much prettier without the lantern light. So we're going to be playing with lantern off just to show off the beauty of the world. So here is the first trick in the game. You can just kind of jump up this. We don't know why, but you can. And with this, the first time that we exited here, like, we just melted with how beautiful the world is. Like, this is an absolutely gorgeous world. Kara's lantern protected and guided us and protected us when the world shattered and we became the people of the sky. The Sky Islands came to be in the Great Divide. The ancients caused the Great Divide, and it created the world as it appears today. The Endgame Tower, the Creator's Shrine, appeared, and from it, cracks appeared in the world. Only one place seemed calm, the lighthouse. It was surrounded by a golden shimmer that warmed and soothed me. I saw the priestess Kara pass me by, weeping. She held a lantern key, such as they make in the city of Urza. But the lantern was dead. Shimmer came from Kara herself. And here's the first time they used the lantern to activate something. The shimmer came from Kara herself, dwindling as I watched. The spirit animals surrounded the lighthouse watching. When Kara came to them, they bowed their head and then left it, as if at an unspoken signal. I found my voice and asked, "What has happened to the world, Kara?" We have to fly through these three. She was silent for a moment and then said, "A great danger has gone, but also a great light." So we must fly through these to open. So our goal is to visit the 3 temples with the 3 gods, and for that we need to find a temple key for each, and then go into the temples themselves. This is a delightful short game. Definitely playable in a single setting. One of the neat things about this is that you can play on controller and keyboard at the same time. So we're going to be playing the flying parts on controller, and then the underworld on keyboards.
Does that help, I guess, in terms of the mechanics, or is that something that y'all do specifically towards the run?
We tried flying. We originally played it on controller, and we feel like we can control the bird flying much better on controller, but we can control walking much better on a keyboard.
So I take it it's just a simple, you just hit a button on a keyboard or controller and the game just automatically detects that?
Yep. We can even mash with both at the same time. And this cave is just so beautiful. Like, everything about this game is so wonderful. And you can see, like, the lantern on just throws away all that beautiful purple light. The void has reawoken to devour the world. Kara hid 3 fragments of great power, 1 in each temple, and we need to grab them all and combine them. There's 1 caretaker in each temple, and we need to use them to end what was started long ago. And here's the first void rift that you see. This game is absolutely beautiful. You can absolutely play it in like 5 hours. And we would highly, highly recommend it to anybody who's enjoying what they're seeing. This deer initially thinks that you are Kara and asks you to close the rift. Kuroku's men wanted to steal the magic of the deer's home. The deer fought but lost, but was able to keep the key which we were just given. And here is our first encounter with the spirit fox. But answer me this: how come temples lean downwards when people look up to the sky for answers? So here is an important trick in the run. For overworld travel, if you go out of bounds, then you will immediately respawn to the closest spawn point, and we are going to use that to warp. So we basically want to get close enough and then dive out of bounds. And here we are at the first temple. This is the archives. Inside, there are tales of humans forgetting about the gods. Kuroku built an army and declared himself to be the only god. He hunted the spirit animals. Later, other humans declared war and used this place as a mine. In the entire script of the game, there are only 2 references of air, both inside of this mine. And we know that the humans were trying to mine it, but we never actually find out what air is. So if anybody actually knows what air is, please let us know. So there are two categories for this game. One is no major glitches, which we are running, and the other allows you to get bird flight inside of the temples, which allows you to skip a huge portion of them. We prefer this just because you get to show for marathon runs, because you get to show off so much more of the game. The aesthetic here is really wonderful. It just kind of shows off humans bad. Oh, awesome. A perfect fall would land directly on that center platform, but that is incredibly difficult.
Sometimes it's just hard just to talk because of how the music is. There's all people in chat saying that as well.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, I was mostly referring to the music, about how beautiful the music is.
Oh yeah, it really, really is. And especially when you first play the game, you just go through that initial cave and it looks like any other game. And then you go out and suddenly you can fly through clouds. And you're flying through islands and it's so wonderful. So here's the first set of puzzles. Here we just need to down this so we can open the gate. And then right here is the first little tricky bit of routing for playing the game for the first time. There's a little platform down here that we just need to jump to. And this lighting looks so good. Lighting looks so good. We love it. Everything about this game is absolutely amazing.
They really did do a great job focusing on the lighting. I saw a lot of the shadows earlier, and wow.
That's why we think it's so important for this run to just play with the lantern off. This temple in particular does a great job of just like showing off how awful everything looks once the humans touch it. That was an excellent jump.
It was, wow.
One of the things that's way easier on keyboard than on controller is just turning after a jump.
That contrast in the blues and the reds is very, very well.
Yes. Good cycle. Like, I just can't get over how soothing and amazing this game's aesthetic is. So there are three switches that we have to do to open that door, and the third one is right here. And here we get to meet the first of the gods, the Keeper of Dreams. And in the archives are scrolls with humans' nightmares that the Keeper of Dreams has been keeping. When the Creator made the humans, the Keeper of Dreams came forward and stood guard. He saw the link between the Great Dreamer and eternity. He is no longer able to protect humans once humans cease believing in him. He's been trying to close the Void Rifts, but has run out of power as human faith fades. The Void is trying to eat the world away and escape its prison. The Creator had to sacrifice himself to lock away the ravenous Void, and the lands and the skies were shattered in the Great Divide. When you play it for the first time, you see this here, but you don't really understand what's going on. And it's one of those games where you see the ending, and it's just you just kind of go, what happened? Until you read the entire game script. Here, we're going to use this pipe as a visual cue for which direction to fly. The Creator saw an emptiness inside himself and ripped the Void out of his heart. The Creator had split himself to lock away the Void growing in his heart. The world crumbled. He had given Kara the task of keeping the pieces of his being safe. 3 fragments of great power, the void locked away in its prison. And one last piece, his hopes, his dreams, and his love for the world and its beauty. The tip of this cloud is our visual cue for this dive. It's said that the storm is a chant of life and death, sung by the souls of the dead as they fly from this world to eternity. When we die, our souls rejoin eternity, of which they were made. Our souls are stars that the Creator took and set into our heart. So from eternity, each time a child is born, a new star descends into its body and fills it with eternal light, until such a time as the body dies and becomes dust again. And the star flies back into the skies, behind the veil, to dream. When the gods left us, they went amidst the stars to search for a new home. And when they find it, there too will we be born again. It happened. And here we pick up the second temple key. So in a casual playthrough, this is actually, we've done temples 2, and now we're about to do temple 3. And we're going to do the first temple the last. You can do them in any order, and this just creates a nice little loop around the overworld. And here is our second encounter with the spirit fox. Mischievous as always.
That fox looked adorable.
Everything in this game is adorable.
It really is. Oh, wow.
This is one overworld where we don't actually take a dive. We're about to enter the monastery. Kara requested an audience with the god said to sleep there. She stayed there for 3 days and 3 nights. She left us without a word, but her face was sad, and I fear for our people. The roof of the world here is amazing. You just get here, and the snow stops, and you see the aurora. Such a beautiful, everything about this game is so beautiful. The bear froze the entrance to the temple shut and hid the key elsewhere when it became clear the world needed healing. Coming up, we're going to need to jump on platforms in a very specific order to open two doors at once. And we have to say that was one of the more painful things to de-rest. Just trying to remember the order of it.
In terms of the speedrun, is this like one of those where it seems easier than like you look at it and it seems easy and it's really difficult?
No, it actually is pretty easy. Like this, if you want a relaxing and not particularly mechanically intense speedrun as your first, we'd recommend this one.
I really enjoy those kind of speedruns.
We chose this specifically because it looks very marathonable. We can tell the story of the world, and it's just a relaxing run that we can pick up fairly quickly. And even the puzzles in this game are pretty simple. This room is pretty important because it's going to unlock extend a bridge that we're going to need to actually get to the end of the temple. And we specifically chose no major glitches so we can actually show off what the temples look like, because they're so beautiful.
I was just about to say when the camera went out and it saw the bridge being formed, that felt very just a relaxing cutscene in general.
We don't know exactly how they managed it, but somehow they just nailed the entire game's aesthetic.
Yeah.
And coming up is something that we didn't even know existed during our casual playthrough. There's a nice little ice slide over on the end to get back down.
Oh, that's nice. It's a nice way to escape.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, yes.
And this main room looks really complex, but the routing actually is quite simple. You just turn right every time. And this bit right here is pretty well hidden. It took us a while to find it in our casual playthrough. If we remember right, we actually did like the maze thing of just following a wall continuously. We found it and had no idea where we were, but it was progress.
I still really like how, like, we were talking about shadows earlier and just the lighting effects of just how everything is just shading and moving without the lantern on is beautiful, gorgeous.
It really, really is. We love how all the snow in here just kind of gives you a real sense that this is something older that the elements have started to take over. These 180s on the stairs are much easier on keyboard and mouse, we find. When the Creator made the world, he woke the gods to care for it. First swam the Watcher of the Veil, high in the skies. A mighty guardian against black cold endlessness, forever singing soothing songs to the great dreamer, lest she awaken from the dream of our world. Forever a guardian of dreams and peace, a fighter and a hunter, trapping nightmares in his library of forbidden scrolls, a healer of sorts, singing about our world to the great dreamer, the center of our world, a light bringer and a passage maker, leading our mind to the realms of dreams and back again, in the rhythm with the tides of dusk and dawn. I am the Watcher of the Veil. I guard this world from eternity. There isn't much left to the first dream of the great dreamer. The Creator had to sacrifice himself to lock away the ravenous void, and the lands and the skies were shattered in the great divide. And his last words? I am free.
So I guess, was it a whale?
Yep.
When it kind of made a firework, oh wow. Such a pleasing effect.
Yes. I would highly recommend this game to anyone. So coming up is an interesting out of bounds. There are two ways to go out of bounds. One is to fall too much, and the other is to head too far to the right. And in this case, we absolutely need to go too far to the right, otherwise we'll take the wrong warp.
So if you fall too much, just in general, is it always going to go out of bounds, or is it to where you will have to it'll make you respawn somewhere else through like invisible walls or anything else along those lines? Oh, did we go too far? There are a bunch of, if you touch one of the invisible walls, then it'll take you to a respawn point. Okay.
And here we are at Winged Song Falls. A water spirit combed her hair here once. The wind sang to make her hair flow down until it mixed with the clouds. Thus, the rainbow was born.
It's nice to know how diverse each world is. They all have different atmospheres to them.
Yes, and this is the first temple that you're supposed to go to. All the temples have so different aesthetics. And this is the first key that we need to pick up, which where this puzzle is much simpler than the others. The sun and the moon. And this time around, we get to see a temple surrounded by nature. The last time we will see the spirit fox. Go to the Temple of Twilight, Eventide Sanctuary. Seek counsel from those who slumber. The spiritual aesthetic is a huge part of what makes this so amazing to us. We haven't actually flown through clouds, so let's show that off. Being able to fly through clouds is a huge, huge part of what makes this so amazing.
Wow. There is so much detail in that.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's the little things that just, yeah.
Highly, highly recommend this game. We can't say that enough. This is the sanctuary where Kara kept her people so that they could survive the Great Divide. Everything about this feels so good.
It really is just one of those games that you can just kind of really relax and just kind of take everything in.
Yes, got that first try.
Nice.
Abusing slopes like that with major glitches allows you to jump super high, which allows you to get a bird. We've never actually done that, but that's our understanding of it from watching it. Here is an annoyingly precise bit of platforming. The glowing mushrooms are so good. Even the sound echoing adds to the aesthetic.
It's just such the little things, the little tiny detail that makes this even so much more aesthetically pleasing and audibly pleasing.
We started playing this on stream one night a long time ago, and just thought that we'd play it for a little bit, and then we just fell in love with it and ended up going for 5 hours.
Yeah, chat's kind of doing the same thing. I've been watching chat, and chat's like, so many in chat are talking about picking this up right now.
And we just love how there's a constant sun and moon theme here, everywhere. We love this game's mythology. We love the spirituality behind it. We love the aesthetic. We choose games that we love to run, and we love showing them off and sharing them with the world. But none of the other games we run... Oh.
I'll say that's what makes great speed games, too. Just want to show off the game.
Yes. None of the other games are quite like this for us. Just in terms of how lore heavy they are. Even the puzzles aren't made to be complex. They're made to add to the atmosphere.
That's something I was about to talk about as well. It's just everything just feels right. Nothing feels out of place.
And we're super happy that getting this run together actually made us read the entire script of the game, because we appreciate the lore 10 times more after doing that.
That's also what makes a really good game, is you want to know so much more about everything about it. That's great.
The aesthetics set it up, and also like it has a Hollow Knight. There's a Hollow Knight thing. It's just sprinkling lore throughout the world, and you just fall in love with the world and want to know more about it, and dig and dig and dig, and then you find the script and read through the entire thing, and there's so much good here.
It's also amazing how the lantern really does change the aesthetic of the entire dungeon when it's on versus off.
We definitely prefer it off.
I'm kind of with
feel
y'all.
like Whenever we marathon run this, we're absolutely going to play it with the lantern off. Give up a few seconds to show off beauty. Oh, so one thing that we missed because the lantern has been off is that that we just saw here is that you can actually see ghosts of people, but only with the lantern on.
Oh,
that's a special.
Wow.
And those reveal some of the stories in the archives. It is those ghosts who make the mentions of air and wanting to mine it.
It's an interesting effect with the lantern, too.
It really adds, like, the lore of the lantern.
And an extra dimension, I think, to everything overall.
Here we are, the final god, the final piece. The Twilight Guardian here is so beautiful. Probably our favorite. Especially the dying animation. The Twilight Guardian opened her eyes at the light of the sun and moon, shining together. She sat down and calmly took both in her hands, bringing balance to light and shadow. She is the heartbeat of seasons, the center of the world, the breath of life and order. The Twilight Guardian is sitting at the border of dusk and dawn, ensuring safe travel on the paths to the land of dreams and back again. This key was what kept the Twilight Guardian linked to this world. And that little fish jumping in the background does so much for that cutscene.
I don't know why, but that animation of the hands kind of crumbling just made me a little sad.
It's an incredibly powerful short little animation.
Yeah.
And now we must return to the lighthouse, the place where the gods first woke up and walked this world. And we must make the 3 fragments whole again. Without going out of our way, this is the only time that we get to fly through a cloud in the speedrun.
I'm always down for flying through more clouds. I love that animation.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
In a casual playthrough, this is close to start, where you're supposed to come to this town, the settlement, and you'll see the lighthouse very early on, and and there you'll talk to people who will direct you to the sanctuary and direct you to each temple. And now in the center of the world is a creator's shrine. And with these pieces of the creator, we have opened it. It is the final place we will travel to.
Great cinematography, by the way, as well. I don't think that's been discussed, but the cinematography of all these scenes, brilliantly well constructed.
Wow, even the music change is amazing.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to have you in chat pointing out all these things, that we can just appreciate them even more. During the Great Divide, this shrine appeared, and the world shattered into the islands of the sky. The ending of the game, when you first play through it, makes no sense, because it's just a cutscene with no real explanation, or limited explanation, and it wasn't until we read through the entire script that we really understood what was going on, so we're super happy that we get to present the lore here. Here, we learn that the Lantern Light is a memory of Kara, and that we are of Kara's blood. Once, the Creator infused me with some of his light. His hope and his dreams, his power, at the time of the Great Divide. This power is yours too, Auk. It has saved you from the Void's touch. It is such a beautiful touch to add the Priestess Kara herself as a character at the very end. Music has such a tone of sadness. This door leads to a realm in between our world and eternity, and this is where we will find the void. You must finish what the creator started, and make whole what was shattered. Make whole what was shattered. And time as soon as we at the end. Time.
Wow.
And now we get to watch a beautiful cutscene of healing at the end. The way that they tie all of this to a healing moment at the end is so powerful.
Just a gorgeous, gorgeous run of run. It's hard just to, talk through it all and just, it's one of those things you just love to just sit down there and experience.
That's really what we're going for, an experience, not just a playing of the game, but the whole experience.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those games. It's the game that you live through that experience. You are in the same world.
With that beautiful cutscene, we don't think there's any more words that we can throw at this, so we're gonna hand it back to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showcasing that amazing run and providing all the commentary and lore throughout all of it. It was, amazing just to experience it all. If anyone was interested in finding more information about the run, I know there were so many in chat who were picking the game up as this run was going on. If they were interested in learning the speed run, where would they go?
So for learning the run, we literally just watched the world record and copied it.
Is there like a Discord?
There is a Discord that's linked from SRC.
Awesome. And if anyone was interested in following you on, Twitch or social media platforms, where would they go?
Just look for Freya's Spirit.
All right. Well, any other final words, comments?
Thank you for allowing us to show this off.
Oh, of course. I'm glad I was able to experience all of that. Before we get things set up for our next run, we do have a couple quick announcements. These hotfix shows are all brought to you by viewers like you. If you have ad-free viewing, please consider using the Prime Gaming account to support the weekly GDQ hotfix content. And of course, if you would like to support the channel in other ways, consider subbing to the channel or even sharing our shows all throughout social media. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can check out the highlights on just by going to our highlights channel and by searching GDQ Sum of Best Segments. You can search for that on YouTube. From there, you can see highlights of all of the hotfix shows. And of course, we're not done for this evening. We have coming up next Plants vs. Zombies. So we're gonna take a small little break for everyone to get up, stretch, hydrate, use the restroom, everything along those lines. And we're gonna be back here in just a minute with Plants vs. Zombies. Freya, once more, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Bargain Bin, a show about speedrunning of video games all under $20. I am your host, Midnight Vesper, and coming up here in just a second is going to be some Plants vs. Zombies. But first, don't forget, Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online is going to be taking place from the comfort of all of our own homes. It's going to be January 9th to the 16th for anyone looking to have a run of the marathon, or you would like to volunteer for the event. Submissions will be opening on September 24th. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go check out our highlights channel by searching GDQ Sum of Best Segments on YouTube. From there, you can see highlights of all of our amazing hotfix shows. And there are so many great hotfix shows. I can't wait for tomorrow as well, because we have the first step where Hobbs is going to be learning Pokemon Crystal by Kizaron. That's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for that. But for today, we have Plants vs. Zombies with May. How are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, enjoying the evening. I'm here with my commentator, Scion.
Hi.
All right, so we're gonna jump in here. We're gonna be doing the all mini games category today, which is basically we're gonna be doing all 20 mini games listed here on the screen. So we're gonna start off with slot machine because we can do it in any order, and we're starting in 3, 2, 1, start. So Plants vs. Zombies is a very simple game where you have these zombies that are trying to get to your house and eat your brains, but we don't want that, so we use cute little plants to try to fight them off. This first level that we tend to do in the run is called Slot Machine because it is literally us spinning a slot machine. It costs 25 sun to spin, and we're trying to reach 2,000 sun, which you can see at the bottom right of the progress here. And this is definitely kind of a toss-up of we just kind of hope that we get some sun to appear on our little slot machine so that'll get us to our goal faster. All mini games is a really fun kind of mid-range category as far as the game goes. Scion, my commentator, actually just got world record in this category last week. So
yes.
I'm really excited for him for
kind
that.
Kind of insane.
So every time we get 2 of a kind on the slot machine, we're going to be getting whatever it's showing. So 2 suns will get us 100 sun, 2 of these little pea shooters will get us some pea shooters, 2 sunflowers will get us some sunflowers, which can generate sun for us, and 2 little walnuts can get us walnuts, which will help delay the zombies from getting to our lawn. We're okay if they do get kind of close, because we do have these lawnmowers back here that will help us at least if one wave does show up. But for now, we're just kind of keeping them at bay. This is definitely one of the more simple of the mini games, but they can range from really hectic to really fun. So I'm excited to see where we get taken here.
So is the slot machine kind of RNG based, or is there a way to manipulate that?
It is.
This one, unfortunately, is fully RNG. We do have a couple little manips here and there in the run that we'll get to, but this one, unfortunately, is we just kind of sit here and hope. We have actually a little bit of calculation behind it where we know about how RNG it is. So, like, we know that our sunflowers will each produce about 100 sun a minute. So we love having our sunflowers. And so when we get to a point where we only need as much sun as many sunflowers as we have, we'll take a minute. It's kind of a weird algebra problem, I'm sorry. But once we get to, like, say if we had 1,800 sun, we would know that we'd get 100 sun from one sunflower and then 100 sun from the sky. So we know that we could stop spinning and finish with about, with the sun that we need within a minute if we got to that point. But yes, unfortunately, this is one that we do tend to put towards the front end of our runs, specifically because we can't control it. And you'll see, like, as we go along here, throughout these levels, they'll be ranging from ones that we have a little less control over, and then as we get towards the end, we are able to do things to make them more consistent, or they're just more consistent as far as levels.
So as
So this
for
one's-
the zombies, this level, they don't really matter as long as they don't get to your house. But in later levels, they will matter, and we'll touch on that when that becomes relevant. But basically, in this level, we want to stall them from getting away from the house, and that'll influence when they spawn. We'll touch on it more later.
Yeah, so this level is essentially a little more of an endless level in that until we get that 2000 sun, they're gonna keep tossing zombies at us. Whereas most other levels work on a function of waves, which is just we'll have to kill a certain amount of zombies to get through the level. So it's a weird like kind of twist comparatively how we will usually use speedrun mechanics. Because we're trying to stall the zombies as much as possible versus trying to kill them as quickly as possible. Luckily, we're getting quite a few sunflowers here, and we're getting some little sun drops, so this shouldn't be too bad a level. It's not gonna be a great one, but it's
Yeah, for
a
PB
good
attempts,
yeah.
you would probably reset this, but for this event, then this is actually good for like an offset.
Yeah, we're getting a good amount of sunflowers, so even though we're still under like 1,000, it'll be kind of coming up quick to where even with spending 25 each spin, we'll be getting all these little suns from our sunflowers.
I am a little worried about the defense though. There are zombies getting a little closer than
Yeah, I
feel
don't
they
like there's a
should.
bucket head in the row that we don't
Buckethead
have
with
our
the
mower.
cone head behind it.
Yeah, they're doing like a slow assault right there.
So we are hoping for a walnut there to stall them for a while until we can get maybe more pea shooters or snow peas or something. That low.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But
actually at
we
a
are
point
getting
where,
nothing from the slot machine. Sounds like slot machine.
Sounds like Slot Machine. Slot Machine had the chance to be nice today, and it chose being mean. So actually, normally I could stop spinning, but I think they would make it here in a minute. So we're gonna keep spinning and hope we actually get stuff to
This
stop
is
them.
really scary.
And I'm actually gonna slow them down with a sunflower there. Oh my gosh, Slot Machine, don't do this to me.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. That's
Oh
okay.
no, I can't.
It's getting to our
Oh,
level,
no.
so we're just gonna restart the level. I'm so sorry. It is so rare to get a death in Slot Machine, and that was just not going our way. Oh my goodness. But that's why we have a wide estimate for this time. It wasn't supposed to be Slot Machine's death, but, you know, Slot Machine's coming in and setting the tone. So it's a little worrisome. Okay, but it's being a little nicer to start now, so that can kind of make
So
up for it.
something resetting that slot machine did is if you notice the lake on the ground that the first zombie is walking towards. So before the run, we bought a lake from the shop that's run by Crazy Dave. And what that'll do is it shows where the first zombie will spawn and automatically kills it. And when you buy it, you get 3 of them for each level you use it on. However, for the 3rd level that we do in this route, we really need it. But since we reset the slot machine due to a death, I think May will have to go outside
Yeah.
into the menu to buy it.
Which is like a 5-second time loss, but I mean, the main time loss is the fact that we died to Slot Machine, so at this point, 5
Yeah.
seconds is not that big a deal. And of course, now we're getting all these walnuts that we needed earlier. Just one of them would have been enough to give us that sun. That's all right.
One of my favorite things about like all mini games is that with its RNG, it can just have such a personality.
Yeah, I feel like by running all the mini games runs that I have grown a kinship with Slot
Yeah,
Machine.
you start to personify the levels.
We already have better defenses than last time, though, so we should be fine.
Yeah, this looks a lot safer. I'm way more comfortable with this.
I'm kind of shocked how few pea shooters we got last round, because usually you have just an entire lawn of just your pea shooters.
And they do, like, in the code have a higher chance. So that was just truly exceptional.
I like the animations of everything. They're just adorable.
It is so good.
They put a lot of work. There's so many things about this game that's like fun, from the animations to the music to just kind of some of the like comedic ways you'll see different zombie death animations and a bunch of different ways for things to go. It definitely keeps the variety
also,
going every time you run it.
Also, just like the zombie and plant designs, they're really creative with some of them.
I think the game is just kind of laughing at me right now with all these walnuts we're getting.
I like how the zombie had a flag.
Yep, those are flag zombies. They show up at the beginning of any big wave, and they walk a little faster than the other zombies. They get really excited to give their friends the lead and to charge along.
And the huge wave is every 10 waves.
Yeah. All right, we're getting our garden built back up. We're recovering.
At this specific, like, sun pace, maybe slower, but it's still better because, you know, we get to live.
Yeah, death unfortunately is
We get to
in the
keep our
cards
brains
to run.
intact.
Yes. Yeah, we have a few sunflowers. We're getting some sun drops. That's a sunflower jackpot. Okay, the game's
is very
saying it's
lucky.
sorry. Sometimes the game will give you a really bad slot machine, and then the next one it'll be like, I'm sorry, here you go. I feel bad. So you actually have 9 sunflowers. So that little equation I was saying earlier, if we get to 1,000 sun, we can stop spinning, and then it'll be a minute. And it'll be more consistent. 11 sun, now at 900 sun. So that's fine. We should be fine here. It's gonna take us a little longer than we were hoping, but it's okay. I feel like it would be not great to as a showcase of the run if everything just went perfectly the entire way through anyway. All right, we can actually stop spinning now because we have enough sunflowers that we're gonna finish up just collecting the sun they give us and then from the sky in like a minute. This guy's fine because there's a lawnmower back there, so I'm not worried about them.
And it'll probably die to the snow peas anyway. Because the snow peas will reduce the speed to half on the zombies it hits, but deal the damage of a pea shooter zombie. So, no, not pea shooter, zombie pea shooter. Getting caught up there. So it'll technically deal double damage by the time the zombie walks that same distance.
We're gonna have another flag zombie pop in a second because we have that huge wave coming in. But we're just gonna enjoy our gardening for now. There you go. You can, there is a function in Plants vs. Zombies called the Zombatar, which is a little zombie creator where you get to kind of customize what your flag zombie looks like. I haven't done that yet, but I know some other runners who do that, and they have some wild designs that they'll come up with. Like they'll make it look like other speedrunners, or like you can make it look like really almost anyone if you have enough of imagination for it.
Yeah, when I did a 100% speedrun of this game, I had like my Twitch chat decide what the Zombatar would look like, and they chose Warmech, who was one of the oldest community members for the speed game, and it was really funny.
We're at a slot machine. All right. Now we're going into probably my favorite level, which is It's Raining Seeds.
This level has a ton of variety, as you will see.
Yeah, so the gimmick of this level is that we're gonna have seed packets fall from the sky, and they'll disappear after landing for a little bit. And so we will have to take those seeds and use them as we get them, and try to place them in places that'll help us out and get things done faster. So we saw before the fog rolled in that we had our rake in row 2, so I know that our first zombie's gonna come, like, show up there, which is nice. We get the first instance of the pool here, which is we get to use these little lily pads to plant non-sea plants. Oh, and we got a lantern, which is good. Those give us light in the fog. I believe that bottom row is where our zombie is, because I could see him a little bit, and I didn't hear him going on the spike weed we put there.
I should
Luckily,
mention that it is possible to obtain almost every plant in the entire game at this level. So
Yes,
the
that's
defense
correct.
that comes up will will have a ton of different plants. So it's a good way to showcase all of the different like plants and all the mechanics they have on like a single level before we get into like levels where they're shown more individually.
I'm gonna hold this guy up here because I feel like we're gonna need to. After what happened in Slot Machine, I'm not risking mowers too much right now. So we're gonna
Also
play this a
should
little safe.
mention the plant that we put in the pool just now. That is a magnet shroom, and that will be extremely helpful as to the speed of this level. Because what that'll do is take any metal that zombies wear, so like buckets, footballs, screen doors, whatever, and it'll take that away, and by extension, it'll take the hit point value of that metal away. So as we were talking about before with like the duration of wave spawns, that is affected by how much HP we remove from them from damage. So the magnet shroom will take away most of the HP of those specific zombies, which is a lot in the entire wave. So it'll essentially just force spawn the next wave, which since this level guaranteed has 40 waves, is really helpful.
So I'm trying to stall here a little bit. Oh, perfect. Thank you, 3-Peter, for showing up. 3-Peter is one of the best ones we can get in this level.
And a
Because it
Torchwood.
covers-
Torchwood will
yeah.
upgrade the 3-Peter. So it's
Yeah,
really good
so-
to have both of them.
Yeah, that just probably made our level a lot better than it kind of was going. It took it from like an, okay, we're trying to survive here, to a, okay, we can do this. Because
Yeah,
it covers
it's
so many
a really
lanes in...
game-changing.
Yes. It costs so much in the regular game when you have to actually pay for it, but because we get all our plants for free in this level, it's very nice. Here we have the kernel pull. They have a 50% chance of either throwing a butter like this, which will stun a zombie and do like a pea shooter of damage, or they will throw a little kernel, which does less damage. So they're kind of a trade-off. You hope that you get the butter more often, and it's just very satisfying to watch the little zombies with butters on their heads.
They're
I
just
also like the
so
one
like
that-
stunned.
All right. And that is our first 10 waves. So I think I'm happy with that we have at least something on every row. That's usually what I look for in Raining Seeds. I'm glad to have defenses, and having a magnet's very, very good because we're gonna start seeing these metal zombies that are gonna pop up, and that magnet's gonna work wonders. It's gonna be working overtime, actually. All right. Oh no. Oh,
It's saving itself.
it saved, yeah. Our little kernel pulled up there saved himself with that butter. So that's good. We're gonna give him a little more support.
Here's his
so
life.
that- yeah. Oof. So yeah, this little ice room, you saw me putting them down earlier. We usually don't worry about it too much unless it's like we do really need to stall, because it only does 1 P of damage to everyone on the screen. The big thing is that it freezes everyone, and when we want the waves to be moving, that's not necessarily the best thing for us. Okay, we got a Doom Shroom. The Doom Shroom is one of our favorite plants in this game because it basically annihilates most of the screen. I will show you once we get a new wave to spawn in here in a second. Actually, I hear a screen door, so we're gonna... Oh, no. Yeah, we got it. Okay. We have no that screen
Yeah,
door,
so the
we'll walk
magnet
the other way.
has only a limited range. So if it is like in the top section of the pool, then it can't hit the... Oh, you can see it get a bucket head from the
Yeah,
fog.
but just got... So
Yeah.
that bucket head...
So that was barely in its range, but the bottom row is not in its range.
Calvin, do you want to explain
Also,
the 50%
this
rule
is a
since we're about to
bungee
hit it?
Oh, you mean the ninth wave?
Oh, no, just in general, the 50% rule. Did we go over it?
A little bit. I could elaborate.
Yeah, just because
So-
we're getting the metal zombies that are a little more clear about it.
Each wave, the game will add up all of the like hit points of every zombie in that spawned wave, and it'll keep track of that value. And once we deal like about half of the damage of like whatever that value is at that time, then that'll trigger the next wave to say, go ahead, spawn the next wave. So doing that as often as possible here is what we want to do for an optimal speedrun.
Yeah, so one of the reasons the magnet is so great in this level is because it'll take a bunch of HP away from an enemy basically very quickly by removing its head, its helmet, or we'll see some footballs in a little bit. Because that just counts as it basically taking a massive chunk out of its health. All right, we'll get to see a little more on bot lane, which is good because we need to reinforce that a bit.
Yeah, Blovas are like full screen white plantains, but only temporary. So they are helpful, but usually you want plantains more, just because you don't want to have to deal with the temporal aspect of it.
Put that guy there.
And that is a Jack-in-the-Box zombie. He is a funny character.
Yeah,
He
he's
will
gonna
just
probably
walk
kill our...
towards your defenses, and sometimes he'll blow up. Just
Okay, he didn't blow up this
inconspicuously.
time. We're fine.
He
Everything's
could
fine.
have. He could have.
He could have. And our little repeater unfortunately got eaten there, but it's all right. These are marigolds. They produce money, which if you have seen my money count at all so far in this run, I'm capped out on money. They don't do anything, so we kind of use them as fodder if they show up here. Like the zombies can eat them, so that's fine. Also, we have
That
another
is a melon
Jack in the
bolt.
Box showing
That
up.
is really high damage. And
If
it
we can
also
kill
has
this Jack
splash damage, so it is useful.
Ooh, okay. I think we're gonna lose our planter here. Yeah. That magnet was busy, so he wasn't able to grab that football helmet fast, unfortunately.
I already
Should be
missed the
alright,
sight.
Yeah, having sight is very good, because it gives you knowledge,
like-
and so you can react to things better.
Yeah, if you don't have sight, then you can't make decisions as easily because you won't have any frame of reference for where the high HP zombies are, and you really need that.
We got another three-peater, which will be nice. All right. Whew. Rainy Seeds is one of the longest levels in that it has 40 waves. I think the only one longer than its last stand, maybe. But we only have 10 waves left.
Either
after
last
this,
stand,
so-
bobsled been
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Bobsled has quite a
Oh,
few.
another tidbit. Torchwoods can produce light like plantains, but it is a much smaller radius.
Yep, so like that's why we have this little dent in the fog here, is because we have a little torchwood out there.
And they really didn't need to do that, the devs, but they decided to.
Yeah, it's a
Really
cute
cool.
little yeah, it's a cute little interaction that they put in. Okay, we got a third three-peater. We're schmoovin' now. Game wanted to make up for slot machine, and I appreciate it.
It's a way of saying I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does. I found that it tends to do that when you do these kind of no resets, where like, oh, like you'll get some bad RNG and then you'll get some good RNG, and it kind of ends up as a wash, depending on how nice it's being. So it's fine. Like honestly, having that magnet from the beginning has been very helpful. So we're happy about
Yeah,
that.
magnet is really a deal breaker on this level for PvP attempts. It's
That
just so
said,
valuable
I
to
don't
have
like
a
what's
plant
happening top row.
that consistently gets rid of that machine. And you can just place it down. You don't need to manage it at all. So, what may just plant it down in the fog, you won't be able to see it, but that is another magnet. Anyway, the pumpkin is basically like the walnuts that you saw in Slot Machine, and some of the taller walnuts that you saw before the fog settled back in.
There's one hiding
And
right
it
here.
is the one difference is that it doesn't take up any space on its own. You can plant the plant inside. And we will in later levels abuse that fact.
Yep, it's gonna make it so that we can use some of our highest DPS plants in the game.
Yeah, and really close to the zombies as well. So just as soon as they spawn, instantly dead. Spawns the next wave. And
All right, just like that.
yeah, the speed.
Okay, I need to remember once we finish this level, I need to go buy a rake. But this final wave should be pretty nice because of all the fire tower we have.
Yeah. Oh, the butter on the bun. Oh my god. Pineapple, you are so dedicated.
The Colonel
But
Port's
that
working,
cactus is
working
going.
overtime today. I love the Colonel Port.
Oh,
It's great.
I should talk about the cactus because it is probably the worst balanced plant in the game. In the normal game, outside of
There we
this,
go.
it costs 125 sun, but it deals the exact same damage as the 100 Sun pea shooter, with the one upside that it can target a specific type of zombie that floats above all of the other plants.
So welcome to Invisible.
Yeah.
The gimmick here is we can't see the zombies, which is a fun gimmick.
Yeah, they decided to not show up.
Yeah.
That's not true.
So we know from
Yeah,
the
the
rate
plants
that
can see them.
Yeah, one zombie will be there, and the plants can see them. So you gotta imagine it's like something that's like they're super 2D. So if they like turned towards us, we'd be able to see them, but the plants can see them because it's their direction right now.
Yeah,
so there's
use
a
your
couple of gimmicks.
imagination.
There's a couple of gimmicks we know about this level. We know that the bottom row is not going to spawn anything for a good while, and then the pool is not going to spawn anything for a little while longer. So as long as we put pea shooters in these two top lanes and this like fifth row, we call it, we can hopefully figure out what's going on. And then also we have to listen to audio cues. So like I can tell from the way that this zombie is getting hit with the pea shooter that it's a cone head.
Yeah, and most of the different zombies in this game will have different sounds for that. So you can differentiate them. And the higher threat the zombie, the louder the sound will usually be.
Yep. This
So
is
another
going to be our
thing about
first...
this level,
Yes.
I think we are getting to the same point. The thing about this level is there is a conveyor belt at the top that delivers us plants regularly. This is RNG, but it is manipulatable RNG. As you can see, we have 4 of the lily pads, which allows us to place plants in the pool. We have 4 of them on the conveyor belt. And after that point, 4 is a special number here. Because after that point, the chance of getting lily pads again lowers all the way down to 1%. So whatever useless plants we come across in these conveyor belt levels, we will want to keep for that purpose, just so we don't get more of them. We increase our chances of the more powerful plants.
Okay, that said, I'm going to throw these down because we are going to have stuff spawning in the pool shortly. So we
Yeah,
do
the
need to
lily
use them,
pads have
unfortunately.
just become useful.
Yep, there's our first zombie.
Like whatever plants you demanipulate away will depend on the situation in some levels. In other levels, it will be obvious depending on the strat.
All right, and this is my little setup for the pool because we're gonna have to deal with some dolphins later. We'll hear them coming in a little later, pretty clearly.
Yeah, they have a pretty distinctive audio cue.
I'm a little worried because we have not got any squashes yet.
Yeah, squashes
Hopefully
for this
that'll get
level,
better.
pretty important for like, speed and consistency. Basically, they will notice the zombie right next to them and instantly kill them, which is quite powerful for getting rid of their HP, and also just for dealing with a threatening zombie.
I'm gonna stack up these two.
Actually,
rows.
I lied a
Should-
little. It can hit multiple zombies that has like a radius, but usually you will be using on one zombie. Especially if it is a bucket head.
I like how it becomes just a floating thing of butter now.
Yes, we have the. We like to. A fun thing to do is to stack up the butter on the same row because then you'll just get the butter train going, basically. And that's just
Yeah,
very fun
the
to have
50%
going.
chances will just stack.
There's a little cone head there, so I want to beef up our defenses a bit. All right. I do need a couple more lily pads, though.
Yeah,
little
there has
weird.
been a bit of a lily pad shortage, which is not
To be fair, I
desirable.
manipulated them away a little earlier. But we really do need one if any dolphins are going to show up. So, fingers crossed on that.
So, you do hear Pop Goes the Weasel right now. That indicates that there is what you saw earlier, the Jack-in-the-Box zombie on the screen.
There we go.
We have killed him because he spawned in a row with 3 pieces.
There's the
And
dolphin.
that is the sound cue for the dolphin. As you can tell, it sounds like a dolphin.
So what those actually are they're dolphin riding zombies. So the dolphin is also a zombie, but the dolphin and the zombie will jump over the first thing in the pool here. Also, I just heard, I think, a Zomboni startup. Yep, that's a Zomboni.
Yeah, Zomboni, pun on Zamboni. It will.
Oh, no, this is
It is a
bad.
big vehicle that
Okay,
will
got that in time.
like generate ice And you'll see in later levels, specifically Bobsled Bonanza, which is the Zamboni's like premier level, you'll see something arises from the ice trail that it leaves behind. But
It doesn't in
right
this
now,
level, luckily.
yeah, it would be bad if it was in this level. But now it's just a tiny nuisance, because when it is there, you cannot place plants on it.
I'm liking his firepower though. We're got some good firepower.
Yeah, this
Things
is
are looking.
a lot more pea shooters than honestly I would expect from a speeder.
I do want to take a second to point out that I see chat is getting ready to start the pun train. You know, there's puns all over chat right now.
Go for it, chat. I'm ready
Who
for
doesn't
it.
love a good pun?
I have quite a few friends that I know do not love a good pun, but I'm down for it.
They don't matter. Ignore their opinions.
All right. We have another Zamboni coming up, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We know that 3 of these pea shooters are going to be able to take out that Zamboni just fine, so that's okay.
Yeah, you'll
Although they
see
had a-
when it gets far enough, it'll start smoking.
Yep, we're like
So that indicates it is about to be destroyed.
thinking of. There's another one actually in the same lane because they're not spawning anymore. Interesting. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this to try
because
to
there
save.
is no ice trail in any of the other lows. Process of elimination dictates that it is in the same low, which is a lower chance, by the way, so exceptional. Yeah, as you can see, the ice trail is moving again. It has caught up. And there is another one. There have been 3 in the same, like, 3 waves. We do have a squash to this one, though. We can just stop it before it gets dangerous.
Oh, that one did take out another pea shooter before it got there, unfortunately. But
Yeah, you can see how much of an issue having an ice trail that big is.
we're already at the end. Oh, and I'm gonna do a glitch here. Sorry. I was a little late on it, so we're gonna delay some zombies. But basically, what happens at the end of pool levels generally is that zombies will spawn in the pool itself. This level has a glitch where if we use an ice shroom right after the huge wave, right before the huge wave is about to spawn, those ones won't spawn. So I did it a little late in that we didn't get the zombies to spawn, which is great, but then the zombies off screen got stalled from it, which slows down the ability for us to kill them fast by a little bit. But overall, it's still better than dealing with 3 zombies in the middle of the pool.
Especially because those 3 zombies can wear buckets randomly, which
Yeah,
is
they
a ton of
usually will
HP
have-
to deal with. So
Yes.
would rather not have that. Yeah, that's the end of the level. You can't see the zombie that died.
But we're good. All right. This is a fan favorite song coming up here for Dr. Zomboss's Revenge.
So in the adventure mode of this game, the final boss is Dr. Zomboss, who fights you in this giant robot mech, Dr. Zombot, I believe it's called.
I would
And
believe
this
it.
is basically his revenge against you for beating him that last time. He has 1.5 times more HP than last time, but otherwise the fight is the same. But that 1.5 HP will affect the strategy generally on this level.
So we can't do any damage to him right now. He's gonna just kind of be sending zombies at us, and we kind of just have to fend them off essentially. And we're gonna be holding on to these jalapenos and these ice shrooms because they're gonna be our main way of doing damage to Zomboss when he comes down. What I would love to see
And
is
like
some
I
elephants,
mentioned in last level, contaminant manipulation will be useful here for the flower pots. So Zomboss is down now. So he is able to be like damaged. He will throw an ice or fireball. This time it was a fireball. You will have to use the corresponding opposite plant type to deal with it.
Yeah, it
And
just makes me
eventually he
very
will
happy.
go back up.
It makes me so happy that they put mechanics into like a fight of Plants vs Zombies, where you do have to know, okay, there's an ice ball coming out, so I need to put a jalapeno there to melt the ice ball before it gets to my plants. I do like that
Yeah,
they did
fire
that. That
beats
makes me very
ice.
happy.
Ice beats fire.
Yeah. We actually, our community's drilled down this specific level pretty hard. So, like, I know in that first area, I wanted to do enough damage to where we did get this this little bucket head wave that we're expecting, but if you push him a little too far, he'll go into like the next wave instead, which is a slower wave than just these like 5 bucket heads. So there's like a lot of very specific cues we're looking for here in like the little progress bar, since that's essentially like his health bar. All right, we got an ice ball coming out, so we got our jalapeno ready. We're getting our melon pulse to do damage. The ice stream is nice because it'll keep him down while our plants attack him. All right. All right, I gotta let him go up after this because we don't want to do too much damage because we might push him over a little bungee wave, which would be faster for us than the alternative.
Yeah, Zomboss's behavior here is dictated by his HP at certain points after his cycles. And
took 2 of my
it took
melons.
us a while to figure that out. I remember like a year ago, we barely even understood that. Like we had the concept of, we're gonna call it hex cycle, where like since we didn't know exactly how to deal with him, we would sometimes cause him to enter a really bugged phase where he just would not stop and would continue sending zombies and bungees, and something, a bit of a surprise that'll come up soon after this cycle ends.
Maybe. We might not get it, so.
So it ranges from like a minute to 10 minutes. It is very much something we want to avoid, but now that we know how he works, we can consistently avoid it. Like I remember the day like we figured that out was so like good. We were so
Yep,
emotional about
there
it.
it is.
And that is the surprise. That is a camper van, or what we like to call a bus, because we are lazy. And it destroys a section of your plants.
So we try to minimize those the times he throws the bus, because he tends to throw more zombies at you after he throws a bus, essentially.
Yeah, essentially lengthens the cycle. So, yeah, you will see a lot more threatening zombies here, like that Zomboni, that Jack-in-the-Box, still doing his funny things. And eventually some, yeah, that is a Gargantua. He is a giant zombie with so much HP, you can't even deal with it. Oh, well, you can, but only with 2 of the essentially instant kill plants.
This
Not
man
in
is
this
gonna
case,
ruin my
'cause-
life in a second here. He's gonna explode.
Yeah,
Well, this will be the first time
yeah,
we see
he
a zombie
is
explode
walking
tonight,
very
so.
far.
Okay.
And you'll notice on his back, he is carrying another zombie. That is an imp. If you damage him enough, by the time, like if you get him to half health, he will sometimes throw that imp and he will just be deep in your defenses. Essentially like a spy.
All right, I don't know if we're gonna be able to force cycle him here. Probably not.
Yeah, you would have to get pretty lucky here. I don't believe it'll happen, but it might. Get more ice creams and then a jalapeno to top it off.
No. Just barely.
Oh, that was so close. That
Okay, so we hope he
jalapeno
does-
did not hit because his animation just started where he was going up. He cannot be hit unless he is in very specific animations. You know, that trips up a few new runners every now and then. They will
And now
use
we
the
just kind of have
jalapenos
to
too
wait,
early or too
unfortunately.
late. Yeah, we will have to endure another cycle.
And it
I
was a
feel
bus,
like
unfortunately, so
the
it's gonna
best,
be a little
like,
rough.
the least amount of cycles anyone has gotten on this level is 3. And it is extremely RNG heavy and very skill based. There's only 3 or 2 people have done it so far.
The good news is we know we have enough damage with these jalapenos to take them out, so we're just gonna let everyone run towards our little roof cleaners here because we're on the roof.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention anything about the roof. We are fighting zombies on the roof of our house. And we can only plant plants if we have flower pots to support
There we
them.
go.
I love the animation of all of this.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
Cyan is
what?
gonna have to talk for me here because we're going into Zombie Nimble.
I will have to talk here because this is a level where you get to pick which plants you bring out of all of the different plants that you unlocked in the adventure mode. And the other gimmick about this level is that it's going a little bit faster than usual. It is at 1.5 times speed. So that makes actually doing things a little difficult, because the zombies will just be really fast, and the cooldowns and all the stun and all the firepower and all the instant management, all of that is just faster, so you really have to pay attention. We
will
are
say,
letting
this
this
is-
first zombie. Oh,
Yeah,
you
go ahead. That's perfect.
Oh.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we are letting these two first zombies go to the mower. This seems slow, but it is really not, because we do need time to set up the sunflowers. So this is the easiest way to set up that time. Like, in the long run, that will save time, because we will have the ability for the expensive plants that we need, like this bloom shroom inside of the pumpkin, which, as you can see, obliterated that zombie. This is a pole vaulter zombie. My chat always jokes that this is like my least favorite zombie. That is my true opinion. He jumps over any plants he encounters, and he has a ton of HP. Like, more than you would expect. So he can be really annoying. Another thing about this level, a really recent addition, is that star-shaped plant, which is personally my favorite plant in the game. It shoots star projectiles in 5 directions. We used to not bring it, but then, like, what we used to bring was a cat-shaped plant. That is another dolphin zombie, by the way. A cat plant that shot like zombies, like, and like could aim. But one day I just realized, well, isn't the starfruit, which is what it's named, a better plant? And then I tried it out and I got the world record in the IL individual level. So yeah, this is the new strat now. It's so much more consistent, and I can't believe I found it. Yeah, another
I'm a
bonus
little
of the
sad.
starfruit is they will hit the pole vaulters as well, so we don't have to deal with the fact that they have extra HP, like too much where the bloom can't fully deal with them, since the starfruits will be firing at them all the time. They're also firing at all the other zombies, so projectiles will just hit whatever.
Oh no,
Oh,
we're fine. Everything's
Okay.
fine. We do have
Another
to keep an eye
thing
on these
to-
pumpkins, unfortunately, because
yeah,
they will be eaten.
they do have a limited HP value themselves. And another interesting plant in this level is the tangle kelp, which is that really ominous looking thing that is fucking up the dolphin zombies and taking them to who knows where. And that instantly kills them and saves time due to them instantly killing. And another cool thing about Starfruit, my favorite part about them in this level in particular, if the dolphins get into like the middle of them, they will instantly die. Because all 5 of the projectiles plus all of the other projectiles will hit them at once. Unless there are 2 in that case. And it is just beautiful to watch.
A lot of projectiles just going off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
starfruits work great together. It's so fun.
It's
Yeah,
it's
setting up a
satisfying.
video to sunflowers is so good.
All right, and just like that, we're already on the final wave.
You can see, oh, that is a lot of dolphin zombies. But we have squash.
All right, we're
That
going
was,
bowling now. That was a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our like quintessential speed run level right there in the run.
So I believe this is the most popular minigame Plants vs. Zombies. A lot of people know about this one. This is walnut bowling. So Crazy Dave wants us to go bowling for whatever reason. With these walnuts that will, instead of being used as stall plants, will roll towards the zombies, and if they hit a zombie, they will bounce in either direction, up or down. They also, this is one of the more RNG heavy segments apart from Slot Machine. Because not only do they have RNG and how fast they are, also RNG in what direction they go in. There's also Exploder Nuts, which you can see May has gotten 3 of, the red walnuts. They will act pretty much the same, except for when they impact, they will do an explosion, which is very valuable for dealing with these waves quickly. Yeah, May, using that, did we call it by name the 50% wall? I don't think we did.
Yes, we did. We did, yeah. I mentioned it earlier.
We call it the 50% wall. Using the 50% wall, we can prioritize which zombies we want to go after. The bucket heads have the most HP here. So ideally we hit them as much as possible to spawn the next wave.
I'm getting some good
Explode-nuts
exploders,
at
and
this
that makes me
point is
happy.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. What I need to do here is I need to hit this cone head. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get pretty sick ricochets if you're lucky enough with the speed and stuff and where zombies spawn. It can be pretty satisfying. They're also just good speed-wise because you're essentially getting the value of 2 or 3 walnuts in 1 walnut. You are limited by how fast the conveyor does deliver your points. So that is pretty important.
I'm a little worried about this pro.
I would be too.
It should be fine. We do have our mower there, but we usually would like to save our mowers for a little later in this level in particular.
Oh, another thing. That is a newspaper zombie. He is reading a newspaper, upside down, might I add. And if you destroy his newspaper, you get a little angry because he almost finished his Sudoku puzzle, but not quite until you brutally interrupted him.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
about that zombie that does the zombie realize newspapers upside down?
I don't think he's doing it for the reading. I think he's looking at like the comics upside down, maybe.
Oh.
Because zombies, yeah, their brains don't work the best necessarily, unfortunately. Which is why we're able to fend them off with plants.
Yeah. If they did have, like, functional brains, I think they would just go around our plants.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, in this second flag of the level, May will be using a lot more of the explode nuts since the zombie density, how many zombies spawned in each wave, will be higher. So they will be more valuable since walnuts at this point, well, you would have to use a lot of them to get the 50% triggered. That
here
is
I'm
a
also
wave
gonna
with
let this-
4 walnut bucket heads.
Yep, we're gonna let this row go, and one thing that's nice about that is we know for the next like 2 or 3 spawns, basically, that row is not gonna spawn any zombies. So we can focus our
Yes.
fire like up here.
Yeah, so essentially the same amount of zombies will spawn, just distributed in only those rows in the top,
Yep.
like 4 rows. And now you'll see they have returned. So at this point, we
let's
will
just-
have to deal with them, but I trust we'll be able to. We have a bunch of walnuts saved up from not using them.
Yep. We'll be able to deal with them just fine.
I really enjoy the sound effects. They,
Yeah, they worked
That's-
really hard on all the sound effects.
Yeah, I love when people appreciate sound design. It's
yes, yeah.
not something a lot of people do, but it's a thankless job.
I'm gonna do that there.
Yeah, another
Just get all
thing
those
May
guys.
they can do is just let the lawnmower in the top row go, since that does instantly kill them, so it's just reduces the amount of resources we have to use.
All right. So if you
Welcome
like
to the
bowling,
sequel.
we have a sequel.
Yeah, but it was so good that we made a sequel. And there's something really different about the sequel that makes it a lot more consistent. Remember when we were talking about conveyor manipulation? Yeah, in the last level, that actually did not apply because there were only 2 plants, like, possible. This has 3 with the giant walnuts. So that takes the game to be able to decide, oh, I can use conveyor manipulation here. So what we will be doing is stalling our normal walnuts so that we only get the most powerful nuts.
So yeah,
Other
the
differences
Explodonuts-
include, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
Explodonuts from last time will still do the little row of 3, but the giant walnuts will just take out anything in a singular line, basically. So if I throw him right here, he's gonna take out both these zombies for me.
Yeah.
I encourage anyone who even just wants to play casually to just do this. It's not too bad to do. It's very much makes this level a lot more fun because the game will just keep giving you exploding nuts and giant walnuts, and it's very fun to just be able to explode the zombies.
Another thing about this level, I believe conveyor manipulation was discovered on this level, like a little over a year ago, or maybe 2 years. I must be misremembering a little bit, but around that time frame. So now with a modern view of this level, it is really. Oh, by the way, this wave was slow because the 50% roll in that wave was barely not enough. Oh, this is a 5th walnut, which is a 1% chance, as I mentioned earlier.
Oh, and we got the dancers coming in.
Yeah, that is a dancer zombie. He will just butt in with his gang and just cause some troubles. He is the worst zombie on this level.
Yeah, just because he spawns his friends in the rows next to him to kind of mess with the fact that you can use better stuff here. Oh no, speaking of.
Can't disagree that he's grooving though.
He is grooving. He's going for it.
I will say that this level, like the last one, seems a little nutty.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hello, sir.
Yeah, like I was saying before, with our modern view of this level, it is hard to imagine a point in time where conveyor manipulation was not used, because it makes the level so much more fun, consistent, fast. It's just a lifesaver to have this mechanic. By the way, this
Yeah,
is a mechanic, not a glitch. This game does have only a few glitches. I believe the development team spent almost a month with a finished game, essentially, just to get bugs. Really was mad respect to them for that.
Yeah, it limits what we can do a little bit as speedrunners, but they have a lot of other mechanics in the
Yeah.
game that make it work really well, so.
Yeah, this game, with all of its mechanics, base speed, doesn't really need glitches. It's already a really fun and interesting, unique speed game on its own, with how the waves are spawned depending on how you deal damage to them. Which is not only a speedrun mechanic, it makes playing this game casually really fun as well, because it essentially paces the level to whatever skill you are. If you're
I'm gonna start-
struggling a bit with
yeah.
the waves, the game will slow down for you, let you catch up. If you're finding them easy, then the game will reward you by making it go faster.
I'm letting that top row go just so we have a little more density in these other rows.
Yeah, in
Just
this
kind of like we
level,
did in
it
that
is
first one.
it is a lot more safe because of the introduction of giant walnuts. It is basically a lawnmower, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lawnmower,
This-
but it still lets things spawn the next round.
Yeah. For
I
all
do
purposes,
enjoy
it is a backup lawnmower.
I do enjoy how some of the dancers have platform shoes, and I don't know why, but I noticed that I just started laughing.
Yeah, the Dancer Zombie actually is one thing that changed from the regular original version to the Game of the Year version. They used to have a zombie that looked like Michael Jackson, and then they got a letter from Michael Jackson's family just being like, hey, can you change that? And so they did. So now it's just the generic disco zombie.
Yeah,
But-
it's just really unfortunate timing because his death was so close to this game's release.
Yeah, so it's just like one of the few things that they did end up changing, and they just did it. There was no hustle or hassle or anything like that. They just wanted to pay homage, and so that was fine. Also,
I
need
mean,
a
the disco zombies are kind of groovy, though.
They are pretty groovy, yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the lawnmower almost caught up, but not quite to the giant walnut. Remember that random speed I mentioned earlier?
Yep. Now we're moving into some Portal.
Yeah,
Literally.
this is Portal Combat, pun on Mortal Kombat, but with portals. So,
Yeah, you get used to playing plants. If you're playing minigames, you got to be used to the puns, because all of our levels here are going to have those puns in them.
yeah, puns are fun. That rhymes. So
They
as
are.
you can
They
see, anything will travel through the adjacent portals, like the ones of the same color. Projectiles, zombies, lawnmowers, just anything. Also, I should comment, this start is really good. 2 repeaters immediately. I wish I could get that in my runs.
Yeah, so these portals, the big thing about them is we're going to have to kind of be thinking with portals, as it were, because they are going to move as the level goes on. So they can move into spots that are like very scary for us. There's a certain distance they have to be away from the lawnmower, so you can't. So like the no zombie we know will spawn in this 4th row or the 2nd row because they're not going to walk straight to the lawnmower, luckily. But if you get 1 or 2 more away from like basically a distance they'll have to travel, if they have to travel, they can travel like 4 tiles. And just be able to do that, so it can get scary depending on where they end up going and spawning. So we'll see how it goes.
On a brighter note, sometimes the portals will be really helpful to you and create these rows where you have tons of repeaters going through portals, into more repeaters. So this portal essentially eliminates it from the equation.
I'm not sure if it does. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried someone's gonna walk through there, and then go to the mower, but it hasn't done it yet. So I'm gonna hope that the game is not being mean. I think it's on the borderline for me.
Yeah, I don't remember if that is the case or not.
They haven't done it yet, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, as I was saying, on the alternate side of the spectrum, portals can sometimes put themselves in really good spots where you have repeaters feeding into portals, feeding into more repeaters into a torchwood, which is just so much damage. It's so satisfying. And it's really fast waves as well. And this is what I was talking about earlier, the balloon zombie, which the cactus counters. Oh my god!
I just went back to the beginning? I don't think I've ever seen it decide to go back to normal. Yeah, that's weird. Usually it likes to go crazy spots, not back to default, but I guess it's fine. I'm set up for default.
It's because of the first level. It's just being nice.
It's because of the slot machine. We had to die into a slot machine so that we could get this weird RNG.
Yeah, I have legitimately never seen this.
It's also because we're on hotfix, clearly, because we had to have never seen this before.
Yeah, we're making history on hotfix in more ways than one.
Yeah, luckily we have our full row of cactuses, so they're able to pop those.
They're really funny looking.
That should also be fine. That just makes this row like really powerful. Yeah.
These portals have been really inoffensive.
Yeah, and we have plenty of cherry bombs, so this is going to be an exciting firework.
This has been really fast as well.
Yeah.
This level can usually range from about 3:30 to like 4:30, maybe 5 minutes. So we did get on the lower side of that.
All right, now we get another fun level though. That's column,
column like you see him. Another pun. Column like you see them. So, as you can probably tell from the name, the gimmick here is that any plant you place, it's gonna be in all 5 columns.
I just love the angry face.
Yeah.
So, tell him that's not.
Duty bound.
Yeah.
So, you might have seen the jalapeno plant before in Laning Seeds. You'll see it, we just got it. We'll see it again. And remember, planting it puts it in all 5 columns. It is a lane-wide screen wipe. Put the 2 together, it's kind of powerful. It'll essentially
Yes.
kill every zombie on screen. So, we haven't mentioned this before. This is a good time to mention it. On the 9th wave of every set of 10 waves, you're required to kill every zombie in that spawn 9th wave for the 10th wave to spawn. To trigger that. So Jalapeno makes that really easy. But in other levels, we will have to worry a bit more about that. Another thing about this level, so the 50% rule, it is kind of there, but also kind of not. Like, you can still cause the waves to spawn faster, but they already spawn fast enough that we don't have to. Also, those are the ladder zombies, what I like to call Steve from Home Depot. And they will plant ladders on all your defensive plants. And here are the Jack-in-the-Box zombies. So, in later levels, May will have to keep track of the waves. On this level, she doesn't, because this level has scripted waves for that. So every 9th wave will be Jack-in-the-Box zombies, and she can just tell from that when to Jalapeno.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a squash, so we're gonna be a little decimated here. Because squash zombies will usually do about half the health of these Gargantuars for us.
Yeah, they are
But as long
gonna
as- okay,
rip
we
through
got
our
jalapeno.
defense a little, but it will be fine. The chance of death here is significantly lower because of loot cleaners. Yeah, they are being really annoying, but we don't have to worry about the speed of the waves. We just have to worry about having stuff happen until the Jack-in-the-Box zombies come.
Okay, we got our squash. If we get one more jalapeno, we'll be fine.
Yeah, the
As
goal
scary as
here
this looks.
is, yeah, looks scary, but we are completely fine. The goal here is 3 jalapenos, 2 squashes. We did get 2 squashes, but not at the right time. So this is technically an extra one. We can use it in the final wave if we don't get a second jalapeno, third one. Oh, that
Oh,
one.
there we go.
That
He almost
Jack in the
went off,
Box
yeah.
almost exploded.
All right, but we're good for this final wave. We got our last jalapeno.
Yeah. This is textbook column.
There we go. Oh, we're going into last stand.
That was
Go ahead.
that was an ending.
Yeah.
Everything is on fire. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, this is a very interesting level, and I really like its premise. So, in this level, you get an amount of sun, and you have to spend it all on making a defense that'll last for 5 flags. So, there have been many attempts to make the fastest specific one. We started off with using cob cannons, which do not exist in the speedrun route anymore. They are big, like, kernels of, like, corn that shoot essentially nukes, but they are targeted by the player, so they're very manual to use. Eventually, we started using the bloom shrooms with pumpkins. And then Ajax, the community member, added the repeaters and the torchwoods, and we've been extending onto that strat since. So, this is a safer version of the current world record strategy, which goes to Tango Kill for Squash and starts the level immediately without planting any defense. It uses the Squash to be able to set up the first bloom and repeat a torchwood to deal with any problems that arise from not having any defense. It is, as you can imagine from that description, it is quite risky. We are not using it here for that reason.
Yeah, we're doing some pretty consistent safer strat right now, so
Yeah.
that's 25 stone loss for me. My bad.
So when it
And
came
actually, I
to
didn't-
routing,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. So when it came to routing a game like this, how hard or easy was it?
You have to try a lot of things. not everything will be like the fastest thing, but if you don't try, you won't know. This game will surprise you that way.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of community-based, like especially in mini games, because each individual level can be run as like an IL. There's like a lot of people who will just be like, I want to run this, like I want to run Last Stand, so they'll just try out a bunch of stuff to see what works best, and then they'll share with the whole community, and we kind of try it out and like feedback off each other. There's a lot of really good workshopping in the community for just making sure like we can try to find the best strats overall, like risk versus reward. As for like routing the like individual like level order for like all mini games, it can be different from person to person, but like over time, a lot of runners from just doing it so many times have just kind of gotten used to what they feel comfortable with. Like they'll put levels that are a little harder for them personally up a little higher, and then like the easier ones for them are lower.
Yeah, as for me, I tend to change my route a lot whenever like I get PBs. Because whenever I save or lose time in a split, I want to have that higher up so I can focus on that saving time. It is very malleable like that.
So this level, this strat is kind of comfy, but at the same time, it's like a high stress comfy, because we do have to keep an eye on our sun count, like how much sun we have remaining, as well as the health of these little pumpkins, because we do not want to lose our glooms, because we cannot afford to replace them.
Yeah. The sun for this is honestly really tight. With the squash strategy I was talking about before, it is a little less tight just because you do want to save a bit of sun to squash whenever problems arise. Problems such as this football zombie. Magnets are currently still in the process of getting rid of the metal that they're stalling. So if a football zombie comes during that vulnerable moment, they can just wreak havoc. Would not be a good idea for that to, a good situation for that to happen. Another thing that can happen on this level, especially with this strategy, is dolphin zombies that spawn in final waves can spawn in such numbers that they can just overwhelm your kelps. I think Alximate died to it once due to 7 of them spawning.
Yes,
is
that's
insane.
why I used to only do 4 Tangle Kelps in the pool, and then that happened to me, and since then I always do 6, because I can always place a 7th if needed. I was burnt once, and I cannot live through that again.
Oh, by the way, fun fact, the football zombie in this game does not know how to play football.
I was about to ask what their position was. Are they like a quarterback, wide receiver? I guess since they can't play football, that's...
I guess they're a brain receiver?
I
mean, they're pretty good
appreciate
at that.
I mean they hope to be a brain receiver.
Speaking of those dolphins, we have them coming in right here.
Wouldn't like for them to receive our brains.
All right, we should be good.
Claps.
Yeah, this is another one of the longer levels in this. At this point, after you have the defense set up, it is sort of an auto-scroller. It is variable, but not by much, and not by much of your control either.
We're getting so many metal
So,
right now. Our magnets are
in my runs, I call this the stretch break.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to stretch a little bit for sure.
Yeah,
Okay, we lost a magnet there,
and
but we
that
should
is
be
a
okay.
magnet gun. Shouldn't be a
Yeah,
deal breaker. It is later in the level.
Yeah, we're almost at the end, so we're okay.
And another property of the Gloom Shroom, other than the high damage, they penetrate through the shields of the screen doors. So even if we can't get rid of them the old-fashioned way, we can still kill them with the penetration of that. And we are removing one and replacing it with a Doom Shroom to instantly kill the entire farm.
going into bobsled.
Bobsled Bonanza. This is the trickiest level for runners of pretty much any skill level except for extremely top.
This
So,
one's
like I said
fun.
before, this is the Zamboni Premier level.
This one's fun because, as you see, we don't actually have any plants that will directly like attack things at a distance for this level. The only things we have are mainly instants here and like some spikeweeds. And that's going to be all we need for this level.
Yeah, and you'll see why as some waves. We also get an entire minute to prepare a sun because with the amount of like threats this level has, the game wants to give us a bit of a break. So gives us a minute to get ourselves comfortable. We get a sun out, get maybe some early defense if you're playing it casually. But we don't need that. All we need is a potato mine. And this is the bobsled zombie. The bobsled zombies. Bobsled zombie team. It is 4 zombies that'll just ride on the ice trails until it breaks by the fact that there is no more ice trails. Now it is approaching our sunflowers.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's going to be fun.
And either, yeah, the potato mine, it usually gets 1, maybe 2 zombies. It gets all 4 here. Just the entire sweat. Yeah, May is letting these bobsleds eat the sunflowers. It does lose us out on sun, but it's fine since we are constantly playing sun. And it means we don't have to spend sun dealing with them. That is a diamond. Like we said earlier, that is molar value. Instant wave there. Okay, we have to back up a little bit. That diamond, that is, we don't know the chance, but it is low. Any percent runners would really like one, but we have maxed out money and maxed shops, so it doesn't matter. And the molar value, in some levels we intentionally go for that, since it is basically 0 sun, free 50% wall.
Speaking of this is the last wave, I'm gonna stall it a bit because I do want more sun here because we are going very fast.
That would be a good idea.
No.
I think you missed the...
Yeah, I missed the 2 front too, so we're gonna have to wait anyway.
Yeah.
We good.
So as you might have noticed, or maybe not noticed, no regular zombies spawn there. And that is because zombies, well, the regular zombies will only spawn if there are no ice trails. If there is an ice trail, a bobsled will try to occupy it. So we are eventually going to abuse this fact by creating the shortest ice trail possible that can still spawn bobsleds. And then every single other low will have no ice trail, so every bobsled will spawn in that low. Jalapenoing here is dangerous because that does open up the opportunity of regular zombies spawning.
There we go.
We do have an ice wall now. So the bobsleds will basically show up on screen, immediately get the sled destroyed, and then just walk. And we can abuse the fact that they just walk by putting spikeweeds underneath, so they just die due to walking. Like I said earlier, it is really important to keep track of which wave is the 9th wave in this level because your only option to deal with it quickly is the cherry bomb, and you only have 1 of them. So making sure you use that at the right time and not at the wrong time saves a ton of time. That is 3 times in a row. So a wave spawned there, but the Doom was activated so early that the wave spawned and then immediately died. So it's really fast, however there is a limit. The game takes 6 seconds to spawn a wave every time. That is the minimum.
But now we get to see a pile up of bobsled zombies up here, which is always fun.
Yeah. walking into the death oblivious. While the spike locks, which are spike weeds, which is those Zambonis, spike lock variants, which you have to buy from the shop, they have more durability and they deal more damage. Like if regular zombie lock.
Oh, that wasn't really mine. My bad. We're good.
Yeah. At this point, we do have pretty much the entire setup. That is probably the earliest you could get the first wave there.
I'm sorry, we have the slowest zombie in existence who didn't get hit by that doom.
Yeah.
He just took a little too long. Oh, and this is on me.
He's just in a vibe for a little bit.
He can go to the pool cleaner, he's okay.
Oh yeah, true as well. At this point, we have 600 stun in the bank, a bunch of sunflowers. It's okay if we lose some at this point. We aren't spending as much stun as we were in the beginning.
That's a lot of zombie bobsledders up there.
Yes.
Yeah. If we force them to spawn all in one row, it kind of looks like that.
Yeah, bobsled definitely has one of my favorite manips because of this. It's just so fun to watch them do their best. I think this is 9, which means I don't have to actually do anything.
Also, I should point out, no bobsled spawned on any 9th wave in this level. Except for, I think, the first 9th wave. So that is incredibly rare. It doesn't affect the speed of the level much, but it is nice on your stun.
Alright, be gold time.
Yeah. So, you ever heard of Bejeweled? We're gonna play it. We're just gonna diverge a little bit, play a different speed game. Yeah, if you're familiar with Bejeweled Candy Crush, then you should recognize this gameplay. We are trying to move the plants so that they create matches of like 3 or 4 or 5 or like L shapes or whatever.
I'm sorry in advance for everyone who's watching this and seeing matches that I do not see. That is your curse for watching the speedrun right now.
Yeah. The skill of this level is just so different to the regular skill of Plants vs. Zombies as a speed game that only a few people really do this optimally. I'm still trying to get to that point, even though I am the world record holder. So you can get an idea of how difficult this is as a Plants vs. Zombies speedrunner to optimally perform. Those cascades where there's matches falling into place for other matches are really good. They're kind of RNG dependent though. Also, what May just did there is click the shuffle button, which costs 100 stun, but stun isn't an issue on this level, so we can just do it whenever. It creates a new board, so when she struggles to find a match, we can just try again. Try to get a better one.
The game will tell you if you have no more matches on your board, and it'll auto reset it, but you can reset it faster by hitting the shuffle button. We definitely have a really strong IL community for like these levels, because like people will just be really good at like Bejeweled and come here and be like, yeah, I want to do that IL speedrun, and we're like, go for it. So the IL times can be like insane comparatively to normal like all minigame runners times. Speaking of, part 2.
Technically a sequel. So there was another like Bejeweled game, kind of a spin-off. It's a little more obscure, where you twist them into place instead of moving them into place. And this is homage to that.
Oh no.
This is some of the worst RNG I have ever seen on this level.
There's a match somewhere.
I can't even
so it won't
see a
reset
match.
for me.
Yeah, it's
But
not. Oh my.
Thank you, game. The game had to tell me. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. This is specifically my least favorite of the Big World levels because it is so much more RNG involved. Since you have to twist in like 2x2 shapes instead of moving one into like 3,
There we
there
go.
are
There
fewer
they are.
potential matches on the board.
Okay, now I can shuffle.
Finding them is really just more difficult. You will have to shuffle more times. The times will be slower unless you get really lucky.
There we go. Okay. Now we have sun, so I can shuffle when it gets too bad. But if you get kind of stuck at the beginning there, it's just kind of sad. Because you gotta find
Yeah.
it, you can't just shuffle through it.
Really disappointing. Makes me cry. Continue crying into my sleep.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
enough.
another thing. Zombies are spawning in this level, but we have like 8 columns of destruction, so they die pretty quickly, but just in case they don't and they actually end up eating a plant, we can replace that plant with 200 sun. Again, sun not being an issue. That is the second diamond of this one.
There was another one actually in
Back
last
at home.
bobsled.
Oh, there was.
There was 2 in bobsled, so that was.
Well, my
third.
count's wrong.
It's all right.
Also, probably should have mentioned this last level, but this level requires 75 matches to be completed, as opposed to like the regular big world games, rather, where you complete levels by accumulating points. So it's a little streamlined.
It's a little weird too
this
because
game.
they made slot machine where it's the number of sun, so and you get more sun for better matches here, but it doesn't increase your match total. So it's very odd they chose to go with number of matches instead of sun, since they're already rewarding you sun based on your performance.
Well, they're offering you 3 different plant upgrades as well. You can get tall nuts for your walnuts, fume shrooms in place of your mushrooms, and leaf eaters in place of your eaters. And for casual players, this is a blessing, because they may not be able to find matches as quickly, so the zombies will overwhelm them a lot more. We are almost done, as the text at the bottom says.
Yeah, we're almost there. Sorry for that slow start. I'm usually better at
How much
twist.
you could have done. How much you could have done, though, honestly.
Goodness.
Like, even I couldn't find matches in that situation. These zombies look a little strange. We are buying a lake from Crazy Dave. That is what he looks like. Yeah, these zombies look a little suspiciously like our own plants. They will have the same functions as them. The pea shooter zombies will shoot at our plants. Walnut zombies will have higher HP. And
Come on, sunflower.
this is again another plant selection level. So the strategy here has been able to be developed. We are also introduced to the imitator sunflower here, or the imitator in general, which imitates any single plant that you want. And you may think that's not very useful since you already have that plant, but the crucial thing is it has its own cooldown, so you can alternate between them. You end up getting more sun quicker by alternating the different sunflowers. Again, we're letting the first zombie here go to the lower, build up sun. That zombie spawned go to low because he will get hit by a potato mine. Oh, we should probably mention the places that zombie spawns is not fixed, but it is predictable. Zombies will have a lower chance spawning in the same rows that they did earlier. And we are setting up a balloon. It might kill the zombie from the back if it's slow enough.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that is.
That's a bad misclick.
Misclicks are real in this game. This
Oh,
could
my
end
poor
up being
Lou.
really bad.
It's just gonna be a slow level. We'll still be fine, but.
Hey,
Oh,
this
that
is
hurts.
a really lucky spawn. Yeah, the way May's playing this should be recover. Oh my god, that luck. As I was saying, this should be recoverable. It is, of course, slow, but not much you can
That's
do
great spawn,
when
though.
something like that, unfortunately. And again, another good ninth wave because every zombie was in the range of the glue.
And this is actually good for us because it means that I can place this down. And we should have our pumpkin back in time. Yep.
And this is the level's introduction to the walnut zombie. What we will do is use a combination of potato mines, squashes, and chompers to instantly kill them for the 50% rule. We, however, do hope for more pea shooter zombies because the balloons will take care of large crowds of them faster than deal with them with Another cool mechanic about the chomper, it will extend its range if the zombie like in front of it is eating something. Good friend. Yeah,
I
it is more
appreciate this.
preferable to go ahead.
Also, I appreciate that the zombies are smiling now.
Yep, they're very cute now.
Something about the walnut smile, which just speaks to me, is just so oblivious. Like he has no idea what he's getting himself into. And we are dooming this wave because they counted that this is the 9th wave after the 10th wave. So 19th wave, technically, we like to simplify it when we talk to 9th wave. Just don't keep track of everything. Speed on the lingo. And we place that doom really early so that we would be able to place this one at this point. So we could get the 2 waves back to back. Welcome to another sequel. The minigames love having sequels. Instead of Vulnerable 2, where it's like significantly better, this one is significantly worse. As you could see from that street view, there's a lot more varieties of zombies and some of them look really threatening. Trust me, they are.
It's okay. Nothing we can't handle.
And also, this takes place in the pool, so lily pads will have to be an issue.
The game is very good though about like treating us kindly in this first couple bit. Like it's during this first flag. We're only gonna get
For your Zen garden.
pea shooters. So it should be fine.
Yeah,
That was a Zen garden plan.
Yeah, the game specifically like ramps up how many zombies spawn, how many higher like tier zombies spawn, depending on how far you are in the level. So in the beginning, you can't get rushed down by something like you can't prepare for. And this is also predictable. Like the next wave will have 2 of the pea shooter zombies in whatever rows they happen to be in. My guess is that they're gonna hit the 2 squashes that we have. Imitator right now is currently imitating the squash.
Which are just very angry.
Yeah. My prediction was wrong. Good that it was because we do want to separate these for different ways. And we have potential to get Moa Valley here, which would save a lot of time. Get it?
Yeah, we did. Nice.
Potentially another one back to back. No.
Not on this one, unfortunately.
So you may notice we were putting blooms in the furthest light column before, but now we're putting it just a little bit before that. There is a zombie on this level that will destroy our blooms if it is in the column. That is the squash zombie. As you can imagine from the name, it does kind of like what our squashes do. Just kills a plant immediately as soon as it encounters it. So we give it that little space of leeway just so we can plant something in front of it to act as like a bodyguard.
Speaking of.
Yeah, they are possible to spawn in the 10th wave. Would be a good idea to prepare for that. And there are two Gatling Pea zombies. They are similar to the pea shooter zombies, but they shoot 4 instead of 2.
Oh,
So
there's
they
our
can
friend.
be a real nuisance to you, unless they're being guarded by stuff.
Oh, no.
Yep. Get squashed.
Made a little squash off there.
So, other potential zombies that can spawn here are jalapeno zombies, which would be more threatening if we didn't have glooms, because eventually, if they walk far enough, they do the jalapeno effect to the entire lane of plants. Would be kind of bad to happen here, especially with how expensive getting up all the sun and the blooms are. But the glooms kill them fast enough where it's almost never an issue. I have seen it happen sometimes in really rare circumstances with the random zombie speed and exposition behind the right of the screen.
I counted that wrong. Dang. My bad. We should
The
still be
walnut
fine.
zombies return as well, with the older brother, the walnut zombies. Which, I don't know when they're up here. Usually they would appear at least somewhat.
Yeah, they've been hanging back for a little bit.
So, when you squash the Tona zombies, they will not die. It'll only take half of their health. Before we kill them, you need to chomp them. So that is the only option against them, unless they are in a position to be squashed, and then the gloom can take out the rest of its HP.
No.
Oh,
Those are two bad misclicks right there.
yeah. It is still fine. We have the glue off cooldown. It does have a long cooldown, so the fact that we do have it is good.
I'm a little worried right now though, because I'm gonna have to.
Okay,
It's
it
gonna start
did
going up.
that.
Okay.
I honestly wasn't expecting that to happen because I haven't seen that in, I don't know, 9 months?
Yep. Oh, and I need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, that is a death condition.
That's okay. We are recovered back to normal.
Quite bump in the road, but it is possible to recover, but it does reach the time loss, so not ideal for get time. But as for completing the levels, this is so fun. Very completable at this point. Yeah, this level also longer than the previous levels. So
Okay, that was 9. That's okay. That was a pretty fast final wave anyway. Do we not see any tall nuts the entire level? I don't think we did.
Now
I
that
don't
you
remember
said it.
chopping it. There they are.
okay,
It's
there
okay.
was
They're all
one.
gonna-
There was one.
There's
The
one.
Doom will kill it.
Nice ending.
Yeah, Dooms make it really satisfying because all the zombies die immediately. So this is another one of the roof levels. You see a little bit of the mayhem on the street view. Not street. The other side of the roof where it inclines the other way.
Specifically,
yeah,
they're
those
coming
are
to this side of
pogo
the roof
zombies.
because this is where our chimney is. That's why they're coming to this side.
Yeah, they found a ladder.
Well, if I was in that house, I may be a little bit annoyed on the other side. Just the constant banging.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Like both Bob's Red Bonanza, it is a similar level in concept to that. But basically it's an onslaught of a specific type of zombie. You have to specifically deal with that in the best way possible. So this time it's pogo zombies, which will jump over all of your plants. It will not stop, which is both good and bad. Because it won't stop, it can easily get to the end of the load and kill you. But it also won't stop to eat plants. So we can abuse that by putting our glooms in very, very unsafe positions and still have it be fine. Because the pogo zombies will just jump right over them, still take damage.
Do the pogo zombies have facial hair?
Yeah, they have a little like goatee right there.
Yeah, it seems they do.
They got their little glasses, little goatee. They like riding their pogo.
Also wearing ripped jeans before it was popular. Game was released in 2009, by the way, for reference. Yeah, you'll see the Gloom can barely deal enough damage to trigger dealing half of its damage, which is good. For this, we have split peas as well. They fire a pea shooter side on the front, 3 Peter side on the back. So, 1 in front, 2 in back. Which is helpful for pogo zombies because they get in the front and in the back. Yeah, for lanes where we've used roof cleaners, we want to especially get split peas there to guarantee that they die. This is a level where it is very possible to die if you aren't paying attention like RNG happens.
Yeah, I'm playing it a little safer here.
Yeah, honestly, the fastest strat, like the world record or minigame strat, is really, really risky. Because essentially, in this strategy, you put a bloom in the first flag. In the world record strategy, you wait until the second flag and squash every single pogo zombie. Which is hard to do. Now we're gonna double up on these. They'll deal just 8 P shots of damage every time they fire. Quite a lot. Would also like to mention the music in this section of the game. This is the only level with this music, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's the only time we get to hear it in minigames. You get to hear it for a couple times in any percent, but it's a very good tune.
Yeah.
I'm always a fan of a good tune.
Not to undersell the rest of this game's OST, every single song in this OST has just been well crafted. It's one of my inspirations for becoming a music composer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Made so far, like, I don't even know off the top of my head how many let's talk about that first. Squashes can sometimes miss the pogo zombies, go in the wrong direction because of how they work. In that case,
Yes,
it was
that-
fine, but in other cases, it can cause a death.
Yeah, that one was just, he was trying to push the 50% rule a little faster, so it's fine. But especially the imitator squashes, if they don't spawn fast enough, they'll think, oh, I'm supposed to go here to hit this zombie, and then the zombie moves. So he doesn't rechange in his direction in time.
People who run all puzzles know the struggles of having squashes go all in the wrong directions.
All right, and we got our final wave.
Yeah, another gimmick of roof levels is that bungee zombies, by the end here, will add zombies to the crowd from the sky.
God, now there's a slow zombie today.
It's counted by the Doom.
Wow.
The zombies are looking a little smaller than usual. I don't know why.
I like
because
the
the
name.
level is
Maybe the name has some sort of indication.
Big
Yeah.
Trouble Little Zombie.
They have very
Oh.
high-pitched voices to compensate. It's great.
This urgency brain.
It's-
There we
I
go. We
love
want some
the
pea shooters.
I love the fact that I have like an IL world record in this level, the level with the cute zombies.
It's very good.
So
Give me
as
a
you
cherry
might be
bombs.
noticing, this has a sort of column like you see them 50% roll where it can be sped up, but it's already fast enough where you don't have to. And the way we would speed these waves up is with cherry bomb, especially with ninth wave. Is going to be, first of all, trying to keep a Moa safe, just safety,
Yeah.
but also football zombies that can be a menace. And also try to keep
I'll let
cherry
this one
bomb
go.
that she can do wave 9 carries to all 6 of those. Speaking of which, this is the
Ninth wave, yeah.
wave. I thought he was in wave.
I thought so too for a second, but it's fine.
Yeah, getting walnuts here when we don't have many pea shooters is really good because if we don't have 2 or more pea shooters, the footballs will be able to eat like out of these. We only have 5 right now, which is really low.
Yeah.
Now that we're demanipulating a little bit, it should be a little better.
Was that a
Demanipulating,
scuba
I
zombie?
say. Oh yeah,
Yep,
the
scuba
snorkel
divers.
zombies. He's going for a little dive to bypass all the projectiles flying in the air. But he does have to come up to eat. That is his big weakness. That gives him the vulnerability to actually get hit by the projectiles. Yeah, I would call this level semi-auto scroller. Unless you are like literally grinding for world record.
I think this is either 8 or 9. I'm gonna go for 9. Yep. Alright.
The list worked. Also, is that 6 lily pads? How did you get to 1%?
I don't know. That's how our conveyor belt manipulation just does that to me a lot of the times. Usually on walnut too, though. Usually he'll just give me a bunch of regular walnuts.
That May, there's something about you in particular where
Yeah,
you
I
just
know.
the 1% gets boosted up to like 10% or something.
That's fine.
You might as well just call this name.
It really is, honestly. Unfortunately.
We in the PvZ speedrunning community have a bunch of nicknames for certain events in the game named after runners. One of them in any percent, the main category. Like, in night levels, there are graves that can spawn that you can't plant on, and they spawn in different formations. We have a bunch of different ones based on runners. We have, I believe, the Super 4 stack, the A1 Major 5 stack, and I forget, there was one for Warmack. I think we mentioned it earlier for Zombatar. I forget
Yeah.
which situation it is though. I'm gonna have to ask him.
That one zombie in the pool. He was trying to start something, but we did okay. All right, we're almost to the end. We only got 3 mini games left. So there are some cute
Yeah.
little ones.
So this is Seeing Stars. Plant selection here, you only really need to pick the 3 plants, the sunflower, imitator sunflower, puff shroom. And the rest you don't need, so put anything in that slot, it'll be fine.
So as sad
You
as
may
it is,
notice we brought puff shrooms when we don't have coffee bean to be able to wake them up. They are sleeping because they are mushrooms. It is currently daytime. They cannot be awake during the daytime unless they have coffee. Relatable. So So the fact that they won't fire at all is not why we're using them. It is because they can be used to stall zombies. Like, even though they're not doing anything, they still exist on the board. They still have HP. So we're setting them up in a way to delay zombies spawning as we set up specifically 12 sunflowers. We've grabbed the specific numbers for this level really well. Like, we know 12 sunflowers is enough to consistently afford the 125 to get stars.
Yeah, so basically, the goal of this level is that we plant a star fruit in every spot that's outlined here in these little like transparent star fruits. So basically,
Yeah,
you're building a big
shape.
star fruit with a bunch of small star fruits. So we get to see, similar to what we had in Zombie Nimble, just a bunch of projectiles gonna show up on screen once we get it going.
Yeah, back in 2009, they knew what my favorite plant would be.
It's just such a happy plant, and they work well
Yeah.
together. It's very good.
It's all having their little group hug while they kill zombies.
The fact that they gave them like a little buck tooth and everything is very good.
So this
good
Little
game,
job.
details. Yeah.
this game has an almanac where it gives you descriptions of the plants. And I believe the starfruit one goes to the dentist. The dentist says there's like 4 cavities. And he complains about there being 4 cavities in his one tooth. How is that even possible?
I will say
Yeah, the almanacs.
that the star fruit they're all doing a really good job in this mission. I think they should get a gold star for their participation.
Are you assuming they don't already have that?
Ah.
I think they just have yellow stars.
I think
Haven't
they
heard
just
gold
are
quite yet.
a yellow star.
Alright, we're almost done. We got 2 more to plant.
Yeah, after we make our starfruit, we have completed the level and we are satisfied and happy because this level is very happy. So, like with the big worlds earlier, this is a reference to another game made by the developers, PopCap. It is a reference to Insane Aquarium, which is a fish feeding game. These aren't quite fish, but they'll do. Oh, also, May just reminded me that you can right click and it'll like bonk the screen like you're tapping on the glass. They don't seem to mind.
Luckily they don't, yeah. So they'll turn yellow when they start to get hungry, and we can tap the screen to pay 5 sun to feed them. But we tend to hold off on that, especially when we're building up zombies, because it can make us have a weird number. Like we have 90 sun now, I can't get a zombie because I'm 10 short.
Yeah, for the speedrun of this, you want to feed the fish as little as possible. Like, only do as much as you actually need to. Which is kinda cynical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not great, but I mean, we're killing
But-
zombies through the entire game, so
Yeah, speedrunners will
Pretty
do
good
what
at this point.
speedrunners gotta do.
oh my gosh,
And this-
I need sun.
This is also another level that's been really labbed out by the community. We know that 9 zombies will produce enough sun on their own to get you the 1,000 sun that you need for the trophy the quickest. If you have 10, then you can be 25 sun short.
Yeah,
They
so right
can
now
lose
I can
some
feed the zombies as much as I want, and things are fine. When we get to 800 sun, we're gonna say that the soup kitchen's closed, as it were, and then they just have to cough up the last 200 sun. But for now, they can be happy and eat brains, I guess. I don't know whose brains we're getting them. They're like brain pellets. So it's kind of odd, but okay. That was
Maybe
the last-
some questions shouldn't be asked.
You know, that's
Maybe,
honestly
maybe.
fair. All right, one more. Oh no, we're gonna have some drowners.
Oh,
Oh no, they didn't drown. I'm shocked. All right, we're on our final mini game here.
That
This
went
is,
well.
yeah, the last minigame. And the reason it is specifically the last minigame is because through and through, except for the final wave, it is an auto-scroller. There is no 50% rule. The zombies will spawn from the graves at any set time. Like a set time. They will sometimes drop stun, which can be used to destroy the graves with the Grave Buster. Or if you're playing this casually, maybe set up some potato mines or an ice room to stall stuff. For the speedrun, there was a specific shape that we're aiming to get here for the final wave with 4 graves.
Which we already have back
We
here,
do
yeah.
already have it here. But
just
if we
need to
didn't,
kind
we
of-
would have to try to make it with whatever RNG the game gives us.
Yeah, it was just
So
one
using
last little
that
thing of
2x2 shape.
Yeah. One last little thing of the game saying it was sorry for earlier. They're just giving that to us right now.
So this
Yeah, the
section is
reason
entirely
the-
RNG.
This one's
It
just
is
an auto.
not entirely RNG or it has no like skill either. It is just consistent 346, I believe.
Yeah, about 345, 46. So that's why we put it at the end, because it's consistent. Some people like to play a little more on the wild side, and they'll put like Zombiquarium at the end, which has a little more RNG to it, just to get like that excitement at the end of a PB. But a lot of us put it at just this at the end. But yeah, it's a comfy way to end the run of all these levels.
Comfy end for a comfy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies is it's a very comfy speed run. Definitely when you're grinding at higher levels, the RNG can be frustrating, but there's always like the good music, and we have people, like such a nice community to help out and like routing and stuff like that. So overall, it's a comfy speed game. Not too, like even that death we had earlier, it's fine. Like you can usually recover from most things, even if like RNG is being a little rude. And we have like a lot of different categories too, so that's fun. Like minigames is like the middle category, but we also have all puzzles, which can be fun, and that's like a short 20-minute category usually, down to like 12 minutes if you're really getting there. And then any percent's the longer, like 3.5-hour one, which is, but like for me, I'm only a minigames and like a little bit of puzzle speedrunner, so it was nice that I could jump in without worrying about committing a lot of time to any percent. But then there's also a lot of people who really enjoy doing any percent, so I love that we have that kind of variety.
Including me.
Yep. Scion kind of runs a bunch, so.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of categories of this game. I just love it. So, another reason why we want the 2x2 square of graves is because if you position your mouse in the middle of them, then you don't have to move it much to get every single zombie. You just spam click in that spot, and all of the hitboxes there will just line up.
Just like this, basically. Makes your life slightly easier on a level that's not too bad in the first place.
I believe this is the last like set of zombies before the final wave, which is what.
Yeah, so we'll have time coming up soon after this big cascade of zombies. We're gonna collect a bag after we take out the last 4 zombies. About here, so time's coming up. And time.
Oh, that's
Awesome. So yeah,
Great run.
Thank you
Great
so much for
run.
having us. Even with that rough start, it was still pretty fun.
yeah. I know there's a lot of people in chat who were really interested in learning about the run. If someone was interested in learning about the run, where would they go?
Yeah,
The
we have our
PvZ speedrunning
speedrun.com.
Discord.
Yeah,
You can
so on
just go into
speedrun.com.
there. It's very welcoming. You can just ask any questions. Someone will come along, answer it to the best of their ability. It's really, people take care of each other there.
Yeah, it's really great. You can get that link through speedrun.com if you look up Plants vs. Zombies. We'll be there. There's a bunch of guides on there for like beginner strats or like more advanced strats, and just generally, yeah, if you want to pop in the Discord, if you're just interested in the run, that's a great way to find all the runners and just see what's going on and learn about the different categories, because everyone's really friendly and welcoming. I only started running like a March of last year, and it was really accessible and everyone was super friendly, so I was really glad to have their help.
Awesome. And where would anyone go if they wanted to follow y'all?
I stream sometimes, not consistently because I have a full-time job, but I stream at twitch.tv/Alxame, and then Scion.
I stream a little bit more consistently, but like not consistently when it comes to time and day on twitch.tv/TZ_Scion.
Yeah, so I would really recommend going to watch Scion in particular because he's definitely grinding down. Like, he just got Minigames world record last week, and that was insane. And he's been grinding down a bunch of different categories, so it's a great place to go. And there's a bunch of other runners that you can find in the Discord. We have like a stream promo channel that everyone will post when they're doing runs, so you can pretty much always find someone running on Twitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of good characters in this community.
Oh, awesome. Thank you all so much. Any final thoughts? Anything final you'd like to say?
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Slot Machine.
Thank you, Slot Machine.
We will be ending the bargain bin, but don't worry, we have another show coming up here in just a little bit. Don't forget, information on all of our hotfix shows are going to be available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. From there, you can find out more information about submitting your runs, if possible, to any of our weekly shows, shows that we have on. Some other amazing shows would be like tomorrow, which is going to be the first step starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, where Jay Hobbs is going to be learning a Pokemon Crystal key item randomizer by Keyzeron. Last week, Hobbs taught Keyzeron. This time, Keyzeron will be teaching Hobbs. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for it. But don't forget, coming up here in just a little bit is speedruns from the Crypt. So stay tuned. We have some more amazing runs coming up here shortly.